There are several ways to evaluate the integral of cotangent cube x dx, one of which is to change cotangent into cosine over sine, and then proceed to evaluating the integral using the rule on the powers of sines and cosines. Or we can also focus on the odd exponent of cotangent x, which is case number 3. So here, the exponent of cotangent x is odd, it's 3. And as a rule, if we are focusing on the positive odd integer of tangent or cotangent, what we will do is to factor out either secant u tan u or cosecant u cotangent u. But how can we factor out, if we are going to use this, how are we going to factor out secant u, or I mean cosecant u, if there is no cosecant u here? If there is no cosecant u here, it means that the exponent of cosecant x, this is actually cosecant x raised to the power of 0 dx, right? Any number, any value raised to the power of 0 is just equal to 1. So we're not changing the given. So we can factor out cosecant x cotangent x. So we're going to subtract 1 from the exponent of both cotangent and cosecant. So this will now be cotangent squared x. And this will now be cosecant x raised to the power of negative 1. So take note that I am not writing cosecant to the power of negative 1x. Instead, I'm writing cosecant x raised to the power of negative 1 because this can be mistaken as our cosecant of x. Okay, so if the exponent is negative 1, you just enclose it in a parenthesis, which means that you're raising it to the power of negative 1, and you're not taking the arc cosecant. So going back, we were able to factor out cosecant x, cotangent x, dx. So before proceeding with the solution, make sure that when you multiply everything, it will lead you to the original given. Always check first before proceeding so that you will not have, you will not waste any effort if here pa lang it's already wrong. So cotangent x times cotangent squared x is cotangent cube x, and the exponent here is negative 1, and the exponent here is 1. When I add them, that would be 0. Okay, so what's next? We now were able to factor cosecant x, cotangent x. The next thing here is to express everything here in terms of cosecant x. So we have cotangent squared x. We can now write that in terms of cosecant by using the Pythagorean identity. That's equal to cosecant squared x minus 1 times cosecant x to the power of negative 1 cosecant x cotangent x dx. So we can now perform substitution. We let u equals cosecant x, so that du equals negative cosecant x cotangent x dx. So this is now the integral of u squared. Okay, let me put the negative sign first. Where did the negative sign come from? From here. So that's negative u squared minus 1 times u to the power of negative 1 du. Negative integral of u squared times u to the power of negative 1. Remember, you're multiplying powers with the same base. You're going to add their exponents. So that's u minus u to the power of negative 1 du. So integrating, that's negative u squared over 2. What's the integral of u to the power of negative 1? That's ln of u plus c. So our answer, we're going to distribute this. So negative and negative will become positive. So ln of cosecant x minus 1/2 cosecant squared x plus c.